people in EFIL, people in AFS, that's the most important thing we have in our association, in our organization.
Doing EFIL activities is much bigger than you or your national organization. It was very inspiring to see all of these people coming together from all parts of Europe, and just coming together for that one goal.
I have met so many incredible people in EFIL, in AFS organizations.
And there with EFIL, I really found my tribe, so to say. And I think this is also something very characteristic, that, you know, you have these cohorts in EFIL, so generations of trainers and people who, you know, who are more or less of the same age, and then they start engaging with EFIL at the same time. They do all these, you know, common experiences.
And that sort of opened up the world, the AFS world for me, because I got to know a lot of other AFS volunteers from other countries in Europe. And we stayed in touch for a very long time. Some of these people are still close friends of mine.
To see dozens of young volunteers from different countries that we at the time as trainers could already call friends, and seeing how much they developed personally, how much their chapters developed, how much they benefited.
With many of them, I'm still in touch and have built professional networks, but also really close friendships.
I met some of my closest friends to still this day. We keep up.
What is special about EFIL is that whatever activity you participate in, it is going to have a very special atmosphere. So with whichever training I attended, whichever, you know, conference or symposium or whatever that we organized, because it is always organized by volunteers, it always has something special. So all new rituals emerge that are specific for that event, songs that you associate with that event, wherever you are. So venues are also very special. So actually, I can remember very clearly a lot of moments from all events with EFIL that I visited. And I think this has to do not with, you know, it doesn't have to do actually with where you are or what you're doing, but with this spirit that EFIL managed to nurture with their, you know, volunteers community.
The composition of the participants of any given meeting or training or activity that you have already sort of goes beyond your daily volunteer program.
The EFIL volunteers, they aren't just people who work with communication or who do political science, but, you know, there's people who study physics and there's people who study economics.
But what I've always appreciated is this common ground that we managed to find, because you meet people at the eye level, you meet people at the level where we say, we are AFSers, we are here for a reason, you know, we are giving our free time to this cause for a reason. So whatever you think, whatever I think, whatever differences we have, we can solve them on this common ground, you know, that we share.
You make them feel like members of a big family, like you and me, you know. I think this is what has been moving AFS volunteers since the very beginning of AFS. And it's exactly the same feeling that we all share. And when we get together, there it comes back again.
EFIL events always motivate me to continue. They always create a lot of memorable moments. And they always remind me, why is it actually that I'm sticking around after 10 years?
Can you think of a specific person, for example, that you met through EFIL that had an impact on you and your life as a volunteer?
Person that I've met through EFIL, it is so difficult to pinpoint one person.
There are several people that I met through EFIL that had a huge impact on my life. And later really helped me achieve several things in my academic and professional life.
I have had the opportunity of meeting lots of interesting people, but if I have to think about someone, I think Tina from Iceland.
Inga.
Hannes Acker of Germany.
Menke.
Elisabeth Hart.
Signe van Gaal. Philip den Ouden.
Isabella,
or Pascal Hildebert.
I have met Elisabeth Hack and Paul Klaas.
Charlotte,
I think that was Inge van Rans.
Raki, Ragnar,
Nico and Numi.
Elizabeth Hart.
Maureen,
Inge van Gaal.
and Tina.
With Elisa.
Of course, Roberto Ruffino.
Roberto Ruffino. Ours is a lifelong friendship, which started, imagine, in 1962, nearly 60 years ago.
Roberto Ruffino, who much influenced the way I thought about intercultural learning, or learned to think about intercultural learning.
The staff members, the secretary, were extremely impactful on how I had access to opportunities, how they were welcoming me.
Whoever I worked with, they amazed me at all times how passionate and how thorough they are in things that they are doing.
Many persons, in fact, made an impact of me.
If I would now start, naming all the volunteers that I met throughout all the years, I mean, yeah, we could speak for hours.
I am happy to still be connected to all of them.
All these people were quite important to feeling like I was part of a family environment.
I consider myself still as a member of the EFIL family.
You will get to go to an activity and you will get sucked into the EFIL universe and you will never want to leave.